The Raxiom smoked halo fog lights are available for the 2005 to 2012 Mustang GT owner looking to ditch the boring, simple look of the factory fog lights with a super attractive, modernized halo light. Now this not only stands out from the rest of the pack with styling, but it matches perfectly with the halo headlights you might already have. Now, the installation for the fog lights is not too hard at all. There's a small amount of splicing for the halos, but I'm still giving it 1 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. Now the early S197 GT models all came with fog lights in the factory grille off the line from Ford, but they're not really anything crazy or special. Sure, they light up and help a bit at night or in the fog, but really they're not entirely great to look at least not as cool as they could be. Now the Raxiom fog lights are an iconic halo styling that replaces the stock set as a direct fit, and they offer a blacked out housing for stealth with a bluish halo ring around the edges and the fog light bulb in the center. Now this is something that dominates the aftermarket fog light world for this generation because it's such an upgrade for your front end. Now the halo will come on when you splice into your parking lights, so anytime your headlights or even just parking lights come on, the halos come on as well. Now the fog lights will be accompanied by that halo light whenever they're on. Now the housing is all factory OEM quality. The lenses are smoked so you really get that nice aggressive appearance, but the lighting still shines through. The accent lighting is all CCFL, and the fog light bulbs included are H10s for proper fitment. Now the kit comes with the driver and passenger side together, and it'll run you about 130 bucks. Like I said earlier, these are a perfect match to the Raxiom smoked halo headlights, so getting them together would really complete the front end look. Now keep in mind, anyone with a V6 Mustang that converted their front end with the GT bumper and upper grille, this will work for you guys too. So V6s with GT front ends can pick this kit up. You'll need that upper grille and that GT front bumper to complete that conversion and make these work, however. Again, there is a bit of splicing, but quick splice connectors will make that kit a little bit easier to work with. Expect 1 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. It'll take about an hour, maybe hour and a half in the driveway at home. You want a simple ratchet and socket set and some needle nose pliers, as well as a way to splice those together. Whether it's a quick splice connector to make life a lot easier, soldering is obviously a more permanent solution, and a lot of guys just simply go with electrical tape, although that is not even the safest bet out there. I definitely recommend those quick splice connectors, which we'll be using in the install in just a second. Now we put our own S197 into the shop to get these installed, so let's head over there and get started. First thing we're gonna do for the Raxiom fog light install is obviously uninstall our factory ones. So we're just gonna pop the hood, use a panel removal tool to remove the factory radiator shroud. Flathead screwdriver works too if you guys don't have one of these on deck. So let's pop the hood, get that shroud off, and then we'll work on removing the upper grille. On both sides of the radiator shroud that we just pulled off, there's these little plastic pieces that have a 10mm bolt holding them on. Those are a little bit in the way, they have to come off eventually, so while we're under the hood, we might as well take them off now. There's one 10mm bolt on both sides. To get the upper grille off a little bit easier, we're gonna pull that along with the front bumper off altogether. In order to get that front bumper off, there's a couple of screws in each one of the front wheel wells. So we'll rotate the wheel all the way to the right in order to get the screws off of the left side. Then we'll rotate it all the way to the left to do the same thing for the right side. So for this third screw here, you're gonna need a really stubby Phillips head screwdriver, in which case you can leave that wheel straight. But if you don't have one of these, you'll want to rotate the wheels, which I'll show you in just a second, to reach those first two. So we actually found it's a little easier to put the car in the air. If you have jack stands, that works too. We have a lift, so it makes life a little easier. If you have neither, you can work on the ground. It's just a little bit tighter to get the wheel well out. So what we're gonna do is pull this wheel well back and out of the way to expose 3 of those bolts that are in holding the bumper down. All right, if you're anything like myself and you don't have any patience, you can grab yourself a power tool, super long extension, and a 10mm socket, and you can work from the bottom here, slip that 10mm on, and you're good. Hit all 3 of these and you'll be good to take that front bumper off. All right, so underneath the car, there's 3 bolts here. These are really tiny. These are like 5.5mm. So once you get your socket, you can just kind of spin these bad boys off. Next step, we're just gonna pull this bumper off with a partner. Makes life a little easier. Make sure that you're twisting out your parking light bulbs and disconnecting your harnesses so they don't rip out with them. Just a bunch of clips. Next step in the process, once you have the grille attached to the bumper completely off the vehicle, take a T20 Torx bit, and if you have power tools, again, make your life easier. If not, ratchets work. And you're just gonna remove the 4 Torx bits holding on the factory fog lights to the grille. There's 4 on both fog lights. Next step is to remove the fog light bracket from the factory fog light and just slip it over to the Raxiom one. All you need is a flathead screwdriver, and you pry off the ends of these clips. There's 1 clip on each side holding this onto the factory light. From there, that just comes straight off. You can pick up your Raxiom light. Make sure you're working with a driver's side when you're working on the driver's side, not to get those confused. And these will actually just slip right on over. That, and from here you can bolt these right back into the factory housing. All right guys, since we already installed the Raxiom fog lights, we're gonna do some wiring, so it is a safe bet just to disconnect the negative terminal on your battery anytime you do something with wiring. So the first step, instead of actually installing the bumper and then working on your harness, obviously that's gonna be a lot to work with the bumper in the way, we're actually disconnecting the Raxiom wiring harness to do it separately over here. So what we're gonna have to do is cut the wires on the parking light harness to work in the daytime running light halos. So what we're gonna do is find our positive and our negative, which we have done. Our brown wire here is our positive, black wire is obviously gonna be the negative. We're gonna cut those in half, use a quick splice connector here to splice in our positive and negative cables from the Raxiom lights. Once they're clamped down together, we can move on to the other side. Step number 1 is we're gonna take our brown wire here as our positive from our parking light harness. I'm gonna cut that at about in half so that's disconnected. I'm gonna take my wire strippers, put this through here. There we go. Strip off both sides. Now we're gonna take our red wire as our positive and twist these together, the live open wires, to the brown one on the parking light harness. With these together, all we're gonna need to do is take our quick splice connector, run one end all the way through, run our other end from the harness all the way through. Once you have those connected together in the middle, next up, once we have our positive crimped together, all we have to do is cut our negative in half and do the exact same thing for that side. Just gonna strip as much wire as possible so we have a little more to work with. Beautiful. So now we have our Raxiom wires spliced into the factory parking light harness, so this daytime running light will come on with the factory parking lights. All right, good to move over to the next side. Now that our wiring is done on both sides, we used a method here that has quick splice connectors with heat shrink in them. What that basically means is it's kind of like a weather seal for the wiring. Now, if you use a heat gun, you'll apply proper heat to the quick splice connectors, they shrink up and provide a weather sealant. Now, if you're using a different method or quick splice connectors that don't have heat shrink involved, this is not necessary for you to do. But since we want to seal that up and we have the heat shrink, I'm going to heat this thing up and get them sealed up. Next step in the process, we're gonna put the entire bumper and grille assembly back onto the vehicle. Make sure all your wiring harnesses are out of the way, and we can put these right back into their factory locations. So with a helping hand, you can set the bumper into place. You're gonna wanna peel off the 3M tape backing for that resistor pack. You can stick it onto basically anywhere that you see fit that has a wide enough space to fit this. Directly to the side of the fog light has enough room there, so I'm just gonna stick that into place. And from there, you take your harness, plug in all your wiring. Fog light bulb connects straight into the factory harness. And then you can put your parking light right back into place. Turn signal bulb's going right back in the same spot. So now your parking light bulb, the one that we did all the splicing work to, will twist right back into its factory housing. Opposite side here, same deal, connecting our Raxiom harnesses together, the ones that we spliced. Factory fog light bulb is gonna plug right in as well. And then we're gonna peel off that 3M tape backing and stick it right back in the same spot. Turn signals go right back into their housing as well on the driver's side. And the same for the parking lights that we spliced in earlier. Next step in the process, to finish up putting the bumper on, the 3 screws that we took off underneath the splitter. So the last 2 pieces of the puzzle, we got the Mustang back on the ground. We're gonna put the radiator shroud right after these plastic end trims. Again, just a 10mm bolt that we took off in the very beginning. We're gonna tighten that down on both sides, throw the shroud on top with the push pins, and then we're good to go. Last piece of the puzzle, top radiator shroud. So these 2-stage pins, there's one, it's kind of like a plunger that goes into the bottom piece. You're gonna pull that plunger out, push the bottom piece into the hole on the radiator shroud, and then push that top piece down. There's 6 of these across the radiator shroud, so we took that off in the very beginning. These are just gonna pop right back on. You can use your fingernails to pull that plunger out, or if you have a flathead screwdriver, that might make it easier for you. All right, well that just about wraps up this install. So if you're the owner of an early S197 Mustang, you might want to check out the Raxiom smoked Halo fog lights, which are available right here at AmericanMuscle.com.